Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
A priest was in charge of the garden within a famous Zen temple. He had been given the job because he loved the flowers, shrubs, and trees. Next to the temple, there was another, smaller temple, where there lived a very old Zen master. One day, when the priest was expecting some special guests, he took extra care in tending to the garden. He pulled the weeds, trimmed the shrubs, combed the moss, and spent a long time meticulously raking up and carefully arranging all the dry autumn leaves. As he worked, the old master watched him with interest from across the wall that separated the temples. When he had finished, the priest stood back to admire his work.
"Isn't it beautiful?"
he called out to the old master. "Yes," replied the old man,
"but there is something missing. Help me over this wall, and I'll put it right for you."
After hesitating, the priest lifted the old fellow over and set him down. Slowly, the master walked to the tree near the center of the garden, grabbed it by the trunk, and shook it. Shk, 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 shk. Leaves showered down all over the garden. "There," said the old man, "you can put me back now." What does this story tell you, my friend? To me, it explains that there is a beauty in nature, that nature has a natural beauty, and that sometimes, even though we feel as though we can improve upon nature by making things look pristine and perfect, trimmed and plucked, combed and raked, there is a natural beauty in nature, with leaves fallen down, scattered all across. You may feel the urge to make things perfect in your life, to tidy up to the point of absolute spotlessness. But simplicity states that you can find perfection in imperfection, that not everything has to be at the utmost. Sometimes things can be just the way they are. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray you received an encouraging message letting you know that part of nature's beauty is imperfection. Perhaps that is perfection. Share this episode with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing, becoming their greatest version just like you, not striving to be perfect, but being just who they are, as nature intended. After all, nature never hurries, yet all is accomplished. All is perfect. Pay it forward so more can hear the message. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, definitely give it a subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel compelled to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support link there is much appreciated. Big thank you and shout out to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this one. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night wherever you are, my friend. And as always, take care.
Hey there, my friend. So, you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.